Viewers, tonight Times Now is going to lift the veil on the inconvenient truth about the anti-CAA protests. Times Now has accessed documents that prove that the Lutyens lobby and the opposition, in particular the Congress, have been deliberately trying to position the CAA as a communal legislation. The jury is very firmly out on this one. What they aren't telling you is that even the so-called secular and democratic America has its own version of the CAA. Indeed, the documents accessed by Times Now's Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan from open source intelligence show that the self-styled intelligentsia and opposition parties in India and elsewhere who have accused the Modi government of passing the Citizenship Amendment Act or CAA establish a Hindu Rashtra may have to eat their words, viewers. The documents that we have with us only confirm an element of misinformation. If America can have the equivalent of a CAA, almost akin in spirit, if not letter, and is not accused of being a Christian theocracy, why is it that India, when it passes the CAA, is being accused today of moving towards a Hindu Rashtra? And it's not just this that Times Now has been able to access. There have been other documents that we have been presenting to you, which even establishes that the UPA itself was contemplating the CAA equivalent. Here is another document, viewers. It's the 107th report of Committee on Home Affairs. This committee was headed by a big heavyweight from the Congress party, Pranab Mukherjee, who went on to become, of course, the president of this country. There were others who were very close to Sonia Gandhi on this committee: Kapil Sibal, Hansraj Bhardwaj, Motilal Vora, Ambika Soni, and several others cutting across party lines, including Lalu Prasad Yadav. And in 2003, all of these people said Indian citizenship should be granted to Bangladeshi and Pakistani minority refugees. National identity cards should also be issued to these refugees. Citizenship should be granted only to Bangladeshi minority refugees and not to refugees belonging to majority community. This is being said in the committee's report and recommendation. So why is it that today Muslims in this country are being told that the CAA is against their interests? It will other them. It will lead to their externment from India, and it will turn India into a Hindu majoritarian state, a theocracy, much like Pakistan. These are facts, viewers, that we need to begin to examine. I want to talk about details, Nizam Bhai, first, of the particular documents that we have accessed. Let's put out those graphics of the Lautenberg-Specter Amendment passed in the United States. What do these documents tell us? And we're going to play out those graphics for you in just about 30 seconds, viewers. Look at the similarities between this amendment and India's CAA. We're going to put out those graphics in just about 30 seconds. There they are on your screens. They will be coming up, viewers. Very important to pay attention. The US Lautenberg Amendment says that it prioritizes citizenship for persecuted Jews, Christians, and Baha'is. India's Citizenship Act says that it prioritizes citizenship for persecuted Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, Jains, Christians, and Parsis. The Lautenberg Amendment benefits minorities, persecuted minorities from the then Soviet Union and later Iran. India's Citizenship Act benefits minorities from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. Remember, the then Soviet Union also had a large number of states that were exclusively Muslim. Both these amendments create reasonable classification to exclude Muslims, viewers. Yet America is not called a Christian theocracy, while India is accused of moving towards becoming a Hindu Rashtra. And it's very funny because the Congress party and the Lutyens lobby have been quoting a report that has been presented by a United States Congressional Committee, which lectures India about passing the CAA, but is silent about its own government's, America's very own CAA. This is also a strange paradox, contradiction, hypocrisy. In fact, this is what the United Nations body has been saying, and it is called the USCIRF. Let's put out that graphic, Nizam Bhai, on the screen. Here you can see it very, very clearly. What does it say? The USCIRF says it's concerned by the denial of Lautenberg refugees from Iran. Deeply troubled, however, it says, by CAB, and we recommend sanctions. Look at the two views. In 2018, February 22nd, the same US body that is today calling for sanctions against India defended its own American version of the CAA. And our Lutyens lobby here and the Congress party said that the USCIRF sanction threat was a massive blow to India and its image. And look where Modi has taken this country. Now, viewers, think about it. Their own CAA is okay. NDA CAA is communal. And the Congress, several opposition parties and Lutyens lobbies have been taking this indictment by this hypocritical US congressional body to Muslims and saying, look, even the United States Congress today is saying that India is becoming a Hindu Rashtra. Look at the gargantuan fakery, viewers. Or, for some reason, motivated selectivity. I want to bring in Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan. Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan is a very significant news break because coupled with the UPA's own legislative moves, which would have given persecuted minorities from Bangladesh and Pakistan Indian citizenship and a citizenship card, this double play, this burial is very, very dangerous.
Well, absolutely, Rahul. And the reason we are bringing out a law from another country is to just show the hypocrisy. Because when organizations like the USCIRF come out and criticize this government, what they have said in the past about similar laws in the United States is not taken into context by certain political parties which just want to fan the fire, which have in fact proposed similar laws in the past. And the law is so similar. It excludes certain categories of individuals from particular countries, from particular religions. It could be Jews, it could be Orthodox Christians from the USSR, from other countries, Cambodians, Laotians, so many of those specific nature of refugees that the Lautenberg Amendment specifically has, which makes it extremely similar to the CAA. And as we were mentioning a short while earlier, this is for those who could prospectively enter the United States. It's not even like the CAA, which is much milder in the sense that it is for those individuals who have been on Indian soil for years and in some cases even decades, to give them some kind of legal standing or legal recognition. This law is far more liberal, has been in operation for over 2.5 decades, and that's where we are using this particular example to illustrate the hypocrisy of those who are coming out to question the CAA in its current form. Rahul.
Well, this is a big expose by you, Madhav. Open source intelligence documents accessed by Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan point towards yet another fake narrative being exposed right here on Times Now. Now, many people will say, oh, this channel is once again extending the voice of one particular political grouping over another. We're not. We're only trying to tell our brothers in this country who are today feeling a great deal of anxiety that there are other democracies in the world that have also passed similar legislation which have withstood the test of not just time, but also of judicial scrutiny. This is very important, viewers. Many Indians look to America, especially those from the Lutyens lobby, the so-called intelligentsia, and of course the Congress party that constantly goes there and testifies before US congressional bodies and panels, because they believe that America is one of the greatest democracies on earth. What's good in America should by extension be good in India. We can't have it both ways, viewers. Now I want to show you also other documents that established Congress, when it was in power, was contemplating the CAA. Some of these documents have been put out by the Bharatiya Janata Party also. One of them is this 107th report of the Committee on Home Affairs. And as I told you, viewers, it makes it very clear that even UPA era politicians, the Congress party's leading lights, were in favor of giving persecuted minorities exclusively from Bangladesh and Pakistan citizenship. Why aren't we being told this? Let's open this up a little bit. But before that, I want you to pay attention to the need to protect persecuted minorities in Pakistan. I'm going to bring you astonishing physical evidence of what they face on a daily basis, viewers. Let's play out this video, Nizam Bhai. It tells you how even Sikhs today are being threatened on the basis of their religious identity. Play this out.
इंशाअल्लाह ताला ए ननकाने दा नाम बदल गया सी गुलामा ने मुस्तफा शहर दा नाम रखा गया सुन ले अगर तुहाडी हेडलाइन ते बजा देंगे इंशाअल्लाह ताला ए ननकाने दा नाम बदल गया सी गुलामा ने मुस्तफा शहर दा नाम रखा गया
We will rename Nankana Sahib. That's what some of these very close-minded individuals in Pakistan are saying. This is the kind of hysteria that is being whipped against minorities. Where will these individuals go, viewers? Why isn't anyone thinking about their rights? I'm sure nobody in their right minds would object to giving these individuals a degree of sarkar. Now, I want to also show you, viewers, what Imran Khan is up to. He is, in fact, adding to the anxieties of Muslim brothers in this country by putting out fake videos about a pogrom against Muslims. I don't want to show this video, but he is busily tweeting fake videos. Fake videos. Let's remove this. We don't want to show it. I gave you a glimpse. A video in which an alleged minority is being persecuted by military. And it turns out to be not even from India. This is what we are up against. A Bangladeshi video being tweeted by the Pakistan's Prime Minister. How low do they stoop in their propaganda against India? And how foolish they are that they think they can get away with it. Let's open this up. I want to go straight across to Dr. Anand Ranganathan, who's been watching this expose unfold here on Times Now. The hashtag is CAA anti-Modi conspiracy. How do you see this, Anand Ranganathan? Is this an opposition based on ethics, or is it on narrow partisan concerns?
Yeah, good evening, Rahul. I don't know what to say. I must congratulate you and your whole team, including Madhav Da. This is an astounding expose. These anti-CAA protesters can now run, but they can't hide. I suppose when Obama was implementing this policy of letting only the Jews and the Christians in, the students over there were chanting, Yahudiyon ki kabar khudegi MIT ki chhati par. Shame on these hypocrites. But seriously, this yet again exposes these anti-CAA protesters for what they really are. Illogical, irrational, they, in Modi hatred, they are just absolutely, they've gone berserk and astoundingly hypocritical. They know, as you also said, and as we have proved over the last 1 month, that in 2012 and 2015, the communists and the Congress demanded the exact same CAA, wherein Bangladeshi minorities, i.e. specifically non-Muslims, not Muslims but non-Muslims, they were to be given Indian citizenship. They know that they were completely silent for 70 years when lakhs of Hindu refugees from what was then West Pakistan ran for their lives and settled in Kashmir, but were denied citizenship, jobs, dignity, basic human rights because of Article 370. They know that the CAA is not about Indian Muslims at all. And yet they want India to burn to the tune of supremacist and bigoted chants like La ilaha illallah and Hinduon se azadi, invoking the notion of some God-granted rishta. Then scared, they are exposing themselves, they start singing the national anthem. It doesn't work like that. Please give me 30 more seconds. You know what pains me, Rahul? That the journalists and activists who tutored and incited the poor, impressionable Muslims to brave the biting cold and sit on the streets of Delhi and Shaheen Bagh are busy frolicking right now in Paris and New York. ये है इनके रिश्ते की असलियत. You brave the bullet over CAA while I sip Bloody Mary over Christmas. Everyone has seen through their game, especially today after your expose. But they are not going to change, believe me. They are not going to get azadi from stupidity and illogic because they don't want that azadi.
Well, Mr. Pavan Verma also joins this debate. Let's all today have an intelligent debate based on the facts. I want to ask you, Mr. Verma, if the United States remains a secular republic in the eyes of India's greatest liberal thinkers, and of course, the Congress Party and several others who go to depose before American Congress, despite the Lautenberg-Specter Act, which is in spirit a facsimile of India's CAA, why fan fears of a Hindu Rashtra over the passage of the CAA? Mr. Verma, could you respond, please?
First of all, Rahul, I do not believe any other country has the right to interfere in what is happening within India, and I condemn wholeheartedly and unequivocally Pakistan's attempts to meddle in what is happening in India. Secondly, the United States can have its own law, but what is happening in India must be judged by what Indians expect and what is good for India. Thirdly, I just heard the last speaker, for whom I have great respect, to hold his own point of view. I have never seen or heard a more cynical attempt to completely devalue and demean large sections of our people, both Hindus and Muslims, who refuse to make this a Hindu-Muslim divide, who are speaking as Indians, who believe that the CAA NRC combined, when taken together, is an attempt to divide India on religious lines, when the government's real priorities should be governance to tackle some of the burning priorities at the moment, not the least of which is the economic situation and the lack of jobs. Now, this is a sentiment that has been voiced across the country. I do not believe protests are equivalent to anarchy. I don't believe students are all miscreants.
Mr.
I
Verma,
don't believe
no one is saying that.
Of cynical politicians.
Mr.
alone.
Verma, I'm sorry.
I believe they have a voice.
I understand all of that. I don't think anyone is denying anyone
which they are free to
the right to dissent.
In a democracy,
we are questioning
and
today
I don't think,
the hypocrisy of a particular class of individuals.
In this dogmatic,
No, please, sir.
And bigoted
No, look,
manner.
let's before you throw words around and
Rahul, because my name was taken by this gentleman.
yeah, okay, please respond. Please respond. Please respond.
Yeah, you know, I too have great respect for Mr. Pavan Verma, but I'm afraid that he is completely shorn of logic here. I'm talking, I mean, has he not been in India and watching what has been happening on our television screens over the past month? What is happening in Bengal, in Bihar, in Patna, when they broke a Hindu temple? What is happening in Odisha, when they're shouting Kafiron se Azadi? What is happening in Jamia? I'm not saying that every one of the protester is like that. But it was very clear from the beginning what is the reason for these protests. And as we have exposed, and Rahul, as today you have exposed, it is completely devoid of all logic. But you can keep on protesting till the cows come home. I mean, I'm not there to stop you. You can protest for the next 20 years. And you can ask your party to not support the NDA.
The objection, viewers. No, 1 minute. I want to come in with a clarification here.
This
is important.
Is irrefutable.
Yeah, I want to come in with a clarification. Till now, the objection to the CAA. Now, look how they changed the goalposts. CAA plus NRC is problematic. An NRC which has not been announced, viewers. We don't know the draft. We haven't seen the draft. They've gone to court against the CAA.
That's always been there.
1 minute. Listen, 1 second, Tosif. Let me finish.
A problem, and we have
Let me finish. Otherwise, I'm just going to lower your fader. I don't want to be cross-talking, and I don't want to be speaking over other people. If you don't have the decency to let somebody express a point of view and put it in the right context,
I'm waiting.
then leave
I'm
the
waiting,
debate.
Rahul.
Shut him
I'm
up
waiting.
and throw him out. Don't have the patience for people who are going to sit here and try and lead some kind of jalsa. Sorry. Throw him out. I just want to come straight to the point, viewers. They have gone to court against the CAA, which they say is bad in law, which they say is discriminating against a particular religion, which they say is against the foundational principles that the Constitution of India stands for. And as we know, they say that no act of parliament can in any way dilute the provisions enshrined in the basic structure of our Constitution, and they say secularism is that. I'm only saying that if there are laws in other countries which mirror the CAA in spirit, if not in word, and those countries are liberal democracies and are secular, and where these actions have been tested, these laws have been tested, then why is a deliberate misrepresentation being made in this country? It's a very simple question. And I want to ask Dr. Sundar Raman, why? Why, sir? So Sumansi Raman, why? Why? Why is this being done? Tell me.
Yeah. Rahul.
What delight are we getting?
Rahul, while you conveniently spoke about while you conveniently spoke about the Lautenberg-Specter amendment, what you actually left out was that the United States has been giving asylum and refugee to almost 40% of the refugees given citizenship status in the United States are Muslims. In 2017,
has India said they're not going to accept Muslims? Are you so illiterate, sir? Do you not know what the CAA is about?
1 minute, 1 minute.
The CAA doesn't deny, it only prioritizes. It doesn't deny Muslim citizenship. It doesn't deny Muslims refuge. You can come from Pakistan, you can claim refuge, except that you will not be prioritized. Once again, Dr. Sumansi Raman, you need to know your facts. Do not sit here and purposely try and pull out straws to show infirmities that don't exist.
I know my facts.
Well then, sir, you shouldn't be speaking like this.
Let me speak.
You are an intellectual.
Let me speak.
Completely wrong
I am
fact.
speaking the fact. Anybody with an iota of sense knows that the CAA is not the primary problem, the NRC is. And in the United States,
so then why are we going up in court against the CAA?
Have been made to stop.
Okay.
No. Because the Home Minister has gone on record in the Parliament to say the NRC will be done.
Because what?
Because of NRC.
You are not saying that, oh sir, my lord, there is going to be an NRC sometime in God knows when. Therefore, please strike down the CAA.
Yes, sir.
Come on, sir. Have some respect. Have some respect for the written word of law. Courts don't decide on presumptions. They decide on facts that are brought within their ambit for judgment.
Can I give the facts, please?
You know this. I want to bring in Dr. Patra. Dr. Patra,
what is said in
the charge is that you are making Muslims anxious by bracketing the CAA and the NRC. How do you respond to this charge?
I would respond with facts. First and foremost, as far as CAA is concerned, it is nothing new. The Bharatiya Janata Party manifesto mentions about CAA. Only after going to the manifesto, people of this beautiful democracy voted Mr. Narendra Modi back to power. Way back in 2015, in fact, we had brought the CAA. It was sent to the Joint Parliamentary Committee. Lok Sabha passed it, but we did not have the requisite numbers in the floor of Rajya Sabha. Number one. Number two, as far as NRC is concerned, the Prime Minister has categorically mentioned that those who are trying to mislead the minority of this country by saying that you would be alienated through NRC. No draft of NRC is ready. So as citizens who are responsible, we should not be in fact spreading nuisance. We should not be spreading misinformation. That is something just extremely important. Thirdly, as far as the hypocrisy of the opposition is concerned, it is staring blank on our face. Number one, your CAA was good. You were way back in 2003. Manmohan Singh was standing up and demanding a CAA, and especially astonishingly, the Amendment Rules 2003 to the Citizenship
there was no
Act
NRC
1956 categorically states that for two states, that is Gujarat and Rajasthan.
This is just
Sir,
so
I did not speak when you were speaking, sir, please. For Gujarat and for Rajasthan, any Hindu, just Hindus, those who came from Pakistan and wanted to be Indian citizens could be granted Indian citizenship just by a visit to the collector's office. And you will be astonished to know that Dr. Manmohan Singh extended this provision, despite the fact that this provision for 1 year. He extended this provision for 3 years till 2007. So your CAA only for 2 states and only for Hindus was okay. Our CAA for the whole of India and for 6 religiously persecuted minorities is communal. How is it possible?
let me open this up.
Totally
this is the question. It comes down to this question. 1 minute. Let me bring in Shehzad Poonawala. If the CAA is anti-Muslim as per its critics,
I mean, are they trying to make...
1 second. Listen, Dr. Sumant Raman,
come on.
We are challenging the CAA today in court. We are not challenging a CAA based on some putative NRC which has not been defined. Please, at least have that much capacity to understand the subject at large. Okay, 1 minute. I want to bring in Mr. Pawan Verma also. I want to bring him back. I want to bring Shehzad Poonawala. Okay, sir, please. You've had your shot. Be a little more convincing. Please, let me bring in Shehzad Poonawala. 1 second. Shehzad Poonawala. Now I want to ask you, if the CAA is anti-Muslim as per its critics, will these same critics describe the Lautenberg-Specter Amendment as anti-Muslim as well? It excludes Muslims. In fact, it excludes Muslims from a Muslim state, Iran.
Absolutely. Rahul, this expose by Times Now basically proves one thing, that hum kare to chamatkar, dusre kare to gunegar. And let me explain. There was, fortunately, there was no Mamata Banerjee in America who said Lautenberg chi-chi, Specter chi-chi. But there are people here who didn't say Congress ka CAA chi-chi, who never said, and now these are the same people. Who are this cabal of people, this Modi-hating cabal, is the same people who go to United States as if it is the Mecca of secularism and democracy. They go to United States Commission of International for Institution for Religious Freedom and quote it as the Holy Grail. And they also are the ones who say that we'll go to US Congress and testify. Today, Times Now is not saying that United States is better than India as a democracy, but it is saying that because you consider US as a touchstone of everything great in democracy and secularism, here is a law which is who exactly the same like the Indian CAA.
Chapter and verse. American publications are quoted
in fact,
in their critique of the CAA.
In fact, Rahul Shivshankar, that law of United States CAA, I will call it USCA. USCA says कि आने वाले जो लोग हैं उनको भी मिलेगा. Indian CAA says कि जो already है सिर्फ उनको मिलेगा और लोगों को invite नहीं किया जा रहा. But here are the 3 or 4 fundamental questions that come out as a Muslim I want to ask to Mr. Pawan Verma especially. Sir, Mr. Pawan Verma, if the CAA by Congress is secular, if the CAA by US is secular, how come the CAA by Mr. Modi is communal for Prashant Kishore, you and the Congress party today? Second question, was this not just an attempt by those who anyways don't like Mr. Modi to malign India's image using the same US publications which celebrated US CAA? They celebrate their own CAA, but they raise questions about Indian CAA. And third and last question, was United States making a Christian Rashtra? If not, then how is Modi making a Hindu Rashtra with the same kind of CAA?
Okay.
These are the questions.
Mr. Verma.
This is slam dunk. Slam dunk.
No, let him finish, please.
Let me say to you.
Please.
Let me say to you. Let me say to you. There are aspects of American society which we admire as one of the certainly working democracies of this world, but there is no reason why everything that America does becomes ipso facto gospel truth or gospelly correct in India. Therefore, we must use a prism which is relevant to our own circumstances. Now, as far as the second question was asked to me, the CAA and the NRC, when taken together, I will give you 3 reasons which I have a problem with. The Citizenship Amendment Bill itself, in my view, and I don't expect everyone to agree with me, but give me the freedom to state it, in my view, is discriminatory and exclusionist and also flawed in terms of the countries it covers and the minorities it should include. That is the problem with the CAA bill. Then, the CAA as it has been brought in today on the testimony of no less a person than the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, at least 9 times on public record, including from the floor of the House, he has given the exact chronology to follow. The CAA followed by the NRC. Now, taken together, it is very clearly in my mind an attempt to divide an otherwise composite and plural society along religious lines. Now, my point is that it's not only anti-minority. The NRC, when taken with the CAA, will impose great hardships on a very large swathe of people, as Assam itself showed, which includes Hindus, who cannot produce the relevant or requisite documentation that is required. Therefore, I am saying that the exercise
coming 1 million, finish.
And as the students across the country are demonstrating,
I just want to say,
they are speaking not as Hindus or Muslims.
Sir,
they are speaking as
I don't know about that.
India.
There are a large number of protests
that they mentioned
which have an overt communal dimension also.
Last 20 seconds.
I'm not saying all, but I'm saying quite a few. But anyhow, I want to say something, and you need to answer this. Pawan Verma, the USCIRF. Now I want to ask you, fine, you don't consider America great. Maybe Trump has not made America great again. I respect that point of view. I'm not saying everything that comes out of America is great. But listen to me. Listen to me. But one of the admirable aspects, according to the intelligentsia, was the scathing attack by the USCIRF, which was lauded. And you know it's a congressional body, the chief of which is appointed by Mr. Trump himself. And with great glee, the Congress party, some other opposition parties, and the Lutyens lobby came out and said, see, look what you have done to India's image. Even the USCIRF today says that you are becoming a Hindu Rashtra. You quoted that. But you didn't look at USCIRF critically to see that even it supports America's Lautenberg Amendment. Here it is, sir. This is the document. No, because you're selective. That's the charge. Anyhow, Sambit Patra wants to come in. Yes, Dr. Patra, you want to respond to Mr. Pawan Verma.
America asking people for
No, it's okay. One organization in America is great.
Can I?
That American organization is blind to its own CA. Says it should be extended.
Yeah.
Is America carrying out
sir, don't ask me. Ask all the Lutyens lobbyists. Ask people who are part of the Congress party who quote American media, who quote American organizations like the USCIRF. Ask them this question, don't ask me. We don't sit and endorse anybody.
Starting in America.
We don't endorse anybody.
When is the NRC?
We don't endorse anybody, sir, because we have brains.
Rahul,
we look and fact check.
Can
1 minute.
Dr. Suman C. Raman allow others?
Dr. Patra, respond, sir.
Suman C. Raman allow others indulgence, please?
Yes,
Thank you. Rahul, in fact, Suman C. Raman was asking right now whether America will have an NRC. For your kind information, Suman C. Raman ji, not just America, most of the developed countries have a register of citizenship. I mean, most of the developed countries, almost all the countries in the world have a register of citizens as to who are their citizens, and that's the reason as to why they're developed countries, because they channelize their resources, they channelize their economy towards their citizens, number one. So did I shout in the middle when you were speaking? So allow me to complete and then you can come in. Number two.
Okay. Go ahead.
See, as far as the draft of NRC is concerned, it is not ready. The contentious point that you all are trying to spread, that the Muslims would be kept away from this country, the Muslims would in fact face atrocity, is something which was allayed away. The fear was allayed away by the Prime Minister. So I don't want to enter into a debate which has still not started. The day you will have an NRC, probably you will know. So you'll debate then. Why now was what the Prime Minister said. Number two. Mr. Pawan Verma spoke about hardships in Assam during NRC. Pawanji, you are such an erudite man. You know the law, you know what the sequence of events have been. Who brought in the NRC in Assam? It was Rajiv Gandhi who brought the NRC in Assam through the Assam Accord in 1985. It was the Supreme Court under whose supervision, in fact, the NRC in Assam was conducted, and rightfully so. So please don't say that the Supreme Court gave such hardships to the poor people of Assam. Number 3, and most importantly, a very important point. You say people are demonstrating, so CAA should be brought down. Well, yes. Protest should continue. I mean, if you believe that protest is a solution in a democratic country, it is your right. I don't want to snatch away the right. But remember Shah Banu's time. During Shah Banu's time, just for a pity 200 rupees to a woman who was 75 years old of age, thousands and thousands of people of a particular community were on the street.
Yeah.
They did not want the government to move ahead with the Supreme Court decision. What was the result then? The result way back in 1986 was the government took a regressive step for which India, in fact, had to bear a blot in its name. Today, I'm thankful to Mr. Narendra Modi. Well, yes, you may be protesting, but India should never become regressive. India should always stand up for humanity, for the best of mankind.
India is even now. And Dr. Sumansi Raman, please watch these visuals. I want to show you something. You said that the big difference is that Muslims from Pakistan will not be given citizenship in India. I want to show you, after the CAA came into being, sir, after it was enacted, notified, I want you to look at your screens. India gives Pakistani Muslims shelter in this country. Look, a Pakistani citizen, Hasina Ben, was given citizenship. And on the right, in Pakistan, minorities are threatened. In this particular case, Sikhs are threatened. That's the difference, viewers. That's the difference. So anyone who says, oh, from now on, no Muslim will be given refuge, needs to look at this picture. And Tausif Ahmed, you need to look at this picture. You need to look very closely at this picture. Tausif Ahmed.
Rahul, I have one question for Dr. Patra.
No, 1 second. I'll come to you. Let me bring in Tausif Ahmed. Tausif Ahmed, you see this picture? This is testament
12 lakh
to India's inclusivity
in the Assam NRC.
Sir, 1 minute. I'll come out to you. 1 minute. I'm bringing in Tausif. He hasn't spoken. Tausif.
How do you know?
Tausif Ahmed.
Nobody knows. This is just complete lies and fabrication.
So Rahul, this is the problem where I feel that people from Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha, everyone is protesting. So they are mad. So we are mad. So we are just protesting like a nowhere land where we have no reasons behind.
Which didn't happen.
We have nothing to do with it.
They are protesting because they are spreading fake propaganda.
People don't let me
You
speak
are
when I
okay
want to
with
speak.
United States
You people
CAA.
had make a team.
Why are you okay with United
और
States
जब मैं
CAA?
बोलता हूँ तो आपको बुरा लग जाता है.
Tausif,
If
can you forget everything else?
United States
you
of
go to
America
United
has the
States. You
same
were the one who was
law
quoting
like CAA.
USCIRF report.
Shehzad
you
bhai,
quoted USCIRF
I am not
report.
quoting United
You
States.
and
Let me
your
say,
ilk
na,
quoted that
there's
report.
a difference
Now
between
say,
United
how is
States
that
and
report
India.
On US CAA, is it wrong? Therefore, it is wrong on Indian CAA.
But
Or do you
United
say
States
that
of
that
America
right,
is not
therefore
throwing
Indian
Muslims
CAA is
out.
also right?
This
You
is
can't
what
take- you
Amit Shah
can't
has
say in two
quoted.
votes.
Now he has
I
changed
think the
his life.
USCIRF is right on
Now
US
he has
CAA,
changed his verdict.
and therefore it is right
The
on
problem
Indian,
is this,
wrong on
Rahul.
Indian
You
CAA.
don't let me
Or else
speak.
you say
But this is the
that
problem
you
when
are a
Amit Shah came
hypocrite.
Calcutta.
This is what Shehzad
He
Poonawala is
said
referring
the
to.
Muslims have to see
Viewers, I
their
want to
own.
read out. I want to read out something.
The Muslims have to see their
USCIRF
own.
raises serious concerns
I
and
want
high
to read out many
sanctions.
things from
1 minute,
USA.
please. Listen to this, and I want to bring in Dr. Anand Ranganathan. I know everything is not good in America. Only some people believe this. So that's why they also play up what they think is good about America. Now let me tell you what they've been quoting. Washington, D.C., Dateline. This is the press release. USCIRF raises serious concerns and ICE sanctions recommendations for citizenship bill in India which passed lower house today. This is a statement that has been issued by the USCIRF.
On CAA, not NRC.
On CAA.
Amazing.
On CAA. Just about a year before that, viewers, this is what the same body in America was saying. It says, we are concerned by denial of Lautenberg refugees from Iran. They were concerned that persecuted minorities from Iran were not being given citizenship or refuge in America, and their cases were not being expedited. So, Modi's CAA deserves sanctions, while America's CAA must be upheld, same CAA almost, must be upheld as a law that protects minority rights. And this is what the Congress party, the opposition in this country, Latvians lobbyists, this is the same organization they quote. Now, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, why do you think this is the case? Why do you think we have this, I don't know, selective approach.
Double standards.
Well, I mean, if you want one phrase
Rahul, they
answer,
don't
it
have
is
NRC, Rahul. They
hatred
have
for Modi.
they have a
That's
kind
what
of
it is,
CAA.
and it has been going on for the last 6 years. But can I please take a couple of minutes and address, a couple of questions? One, without coming across as patronizing, may I please say that Mr. Pawan Verma is far too intelligent to ignore the absolute logic and the justness and the morality of the CAA. Now, can I please address his objection to the he not only objects to the CAA, he also objects to the CAA plus NRC. I'll delve on both issues very quickly. First one is, you see, you are giving refuge or citizenship to the persecuted minorities of 3 countries where Islam is the state religion. Are you saying that you should also give citizenship to Muslims persecuted there? Now tomorrow there are 50 million Shias in Pakistan. Should India give refuge to all 50 million Shias? I mean, that is untenable. Don't they have just Supreme Court rights there? Point number 2, which is very important, as Amit Shah's meme says, aap chronology samajhiye. The Citizenship Act CAA amnesty has actually been activated on 31st December 2019. So right now, the cutoff date is 2014. By the time the NRC comes, we don't know what the draft is. Mr. Sumant Raman is all speculating because the goalpost has been shifted from anti-CAA to anti-CAA plus NRC, and now it is not just anti-Muslim, it is anti-poor.
Rahul, this is
but what I'm trying to say is, by the time the NRC comes, all those who want, stop interrupting.
Let him finish his point, gentlemen.
All those who want citizenship would have already got it. And this is the problem of the propaganda of people like Sumant Raman. He doesn't even know his facts. Can I very quickly, Rahul, quote you what this America and what India have admitted?
Absolutely.
Now,
1 minute, you can respond to him once he finishes his point, Dr. Sumant Raman. No one is running away. Respond to him after he finishes. Please, yes.
India with a GDP per capita of 1723 USD admitted 40,000 Rohingyas. USA with a GDP per capita of 57,436 admitted 5,000 Rohingyas. Qatar with a GDP per capita of 60,787 admitted 0 Rohingyas. Japan 38,917 GDP per capita, 250 Rohingyas. What are you talking about? And today when you stand completely exposed of what the double standards of the American CAA, those guys shouting and writing in Washington Post about India being Hindu Rashtra and all that. Don't you have any shame?
Rohingyas. Why don't you
Shame
say
on
that?
you.
Sir,
Okay, let him respond. Dr. Sumant Raman, respond on facts.
India has admitted more.
I just want to come in for quick 10 seconds because I want to add something extremely important to what Anand Ranganathan just said.
Okay, now we are going out of control here.
No, I have to ask 2 questions. No, 1 second. Rahul, you have to allow me to rebut.
Go.
First of all, nobody from the government is answering the simple question: what will happen to the Hindu who is not from these 3 countries, who does not have any papers to establish his citizenship? Will he also be treated exactly like the Muslim? This is the fundamental issue that is not being answered.
Okay, what's your second question?
No, 1 second.
Question 2.
The second question is, the question is to Dr. Patra. Dr. Patra, the fundamental question is
to get citizenship.
The NRC is
but they're
going
saying
to
it may
follow
come
the
later
CAA
at some later
is
date.
something that the Home Minister had mentioned multiple times. Whether it comes 6 months down the line or 1 year down the line, is it fair to keep the anxiety of so many million people
the
going?
CAA is a
in
one-time.
your mind?
Please
What should be the
understand, it's
proof of
one time.
citizenship?
It is
The
not
law-
perpetuity.
I'm sorry.
Please.
amnesty.
Unlike the American CAA, which is extended every year.
I'm talking about the
Oh my
NRC.
God! How absolutely ignorant of the facts we are here. Okay, Dr. Patra, respond.
I really suspect
Can I come in and answer them?
Dr. Patra, respond to Sumant Raman. Respond on both
I am
questions.
talking about the NRC. I'm sorry.
क्या बात है
My
sir?
question is about the NRC.
Intellectual gymnastics.
Okay. I've got your questions. Now here are the
Chaliye.
answers. To your first question, Dr. Sumansi Raman, to your first question, what happens to the Hindus of the other countries who have come to India or willing to come to India, etc., etc. To this, I'll also add to the query of Mr. Anand Ranganathan. A point needs to be mentioned over here. Reasonable classification is something which is extremely important, which is the cornerstone which will pass the constitutionality in the Supreme Court. And in reasonable classification, you cannot have political persecution equated with sectarian persecution, equated with religious minority persecution. Remember, as far as the Shias and the Ahmadiyas in Pakistan are concerned, what they face is not religious persecution in an Islamic country.
Will the
They
Hindu
face sectarian
go to the
persecution.
detention camp,
The moment
yes
you allow
or
the
no?
Shias and the Ahmadiyas, we will. Just a second, I'm answering, sir. I'm answering all the questions. Just a second. Have patience. Number one. So Shias and Ahmadiyas cannot be taken in because the principle of reasonable classification would fall. That is sectarian violence. The Hindus in Sri Lanka, the Hindus in any other countries, they cannot be taken in because of the simple reason that they may be facing political persecution in Tamil Nadu.
There you go.
In Sri Lanka.
It's very specific, sir. It is very specific. And it's one time. Please, it's one time. The cutoff has been established. Anyhow, big breaking news coming in on this show. 1 minute. Big breaking news coming in. The Ministry of External Affairs has responded, viewers, to a video that was put out by Times Now. The MEA has condemned the vandalism at Nankana Sahib. We are being told that the violence at Nankana Sahib is wrong. This is what the Ministry of External Affairs is telling us. Look at what is happening, viewers. A symbol of religious unity and a bridge of friendship that was constructed just recently and inaugurated is being today subjected to violence by the Pakistani state. Look at this country. Look at this country. And there are people in this country who deny those who are being persecuted in Pakistan because they are minorities shelter here in India. How can they allow this? Let's go across to our reporters. Let me go straight across to Madhav Das or Pradeep on the phone line. In fact, maintain the sanctity of Nankana Sahib. Pradeep, I'm just coming out to you. Stay on with me. I just want to play out the soundbite that we heard, which has prompted the MEA to come out with this urgent appeal. Listen first to this entire sequence. Look at these individuals in Pakistan, how they're threatening the minority Sikh community. Listen to this. Well, big development here. The MEA stepping in. Times Now's report obviously setting off alarm bells. Pradeep?
Yes, in fact, Rahul, this is a very strong statement coming from Minister of External Affairs. In very strong words, they have condemned this incident. And look at the slogans they are raising in Nizam and Mustafa. The similar kind of the slogans they heard even in Kashmir Valley. But these armchair anarchists as well as the Lutyens lobby, they will not be able to understand the kind of the persecution which the Sikh and the other minorities are facing in Pakistan. But they will try to make CAA a big issue. And this only exposes their hypocrisy. Here in this case, you rightly said this Gurdwara Sahib is in the name of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who had been the biggest ever unifier. And he always had been spreading the message of peace and brotherhood. But see what exactly is happening in Pakistan. Yes. This highlights only the level of intolerance. But not a single word has been uttered by Messiah of Peace, Imran Khan, who calls himself the Messiah of Peace.
Well, Imran Khan, Pradeep, has tweeted a fake video from Bangladesh to mislead Muslims in our country. This is how craven Pakistan is. I want to quickly go across to former diplomat also, Pawan Verma. Mr. Verma, this is absolutely shocking. And I hope that today leaders of the opposition realize the urgency of the situation in Pakistan, sir.
Rahul, I want to say that I wholeheartedly with you and every Indian citizen will condemn the religious bigotry within Pakistan. And I will never make a case for the completely condemnable persecution of religious minorities in Pakistan. But Pakistan was born as a theocratic state, and this is only what we can expect from them given the nature of that state. We condemn it. We are trying to be what we are resolved to be at the time when our founding fathers drafted the Constitution, and to which we are committed, which is a secular state.
I take your views on board. I just hope that we are not stalled on the road to justice by politics. That's all. That's all I want to say. I just want to also point out some latest pictures that have come, more pictures of what happened. And you can see individuals standing with what appears to be metallic strips, which I am being told were used and brandished like swords, machetes. Viewers, this is very, very serious. Now, this is proof. We have seen traumatized women from minority communities in Pakistan who have appealed globally to be rescued from the hands of those who are converting them and violating them. And now you're seeing various citizens in Pakistan, I don't know who these people are, threatening the Sikh community. I mean, this is going beyond tolerable limits. And tonight, Times Now, viewers, has lifted the veil on the inconvenient truth about the anti-CAA protest. Times Now has accessed documents that prove that the Lutyens lobby and the opposition have been deliberately trying to position the CAA as a communal legislation. What they aren't telling you is that even so-called secular and democratic America has its own version of the CAA. What they're not telling you is that even tallest leaders from the Congress party, including Pranab Mukherjee, pushed for a CAA along the lines that has been passed in India to safeguard the rights of persecuted minorities in Bangladesh and Pakistan. Indeed, the documents accessed by Times Now's Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan from open source intelligence show that the self-styled intelligentsia and opposition parties in India and elsewhere who have accused the Modi government of passing the Citizenship Amendment Act or CAA to establish a Hindu Rashtra may have to eat their words, viewers, today. Watch this. Today in the United States, under the Lautenberg-Specter Amendment, persecuted religious minorities like Jews, Christians, Baha'is fleeing Iran jumped the queue to gain citizenship in the United States. Almost exactly like the Modi government CAA, the Lautenberg-Specter amendments positively discriminates among minorities by creating a reasonable classification to exclude Muslims. Yet the liberal establishment in the United States has never turned on its own government, accusing it of being anti-Muslim. Why? What's most intriguing is that the US Commission on International Religious Freedom that has passed a scathing verdict against the Modi government has in fact championed the Lautner-Specter amendments. In fact, in February 23rd, 2018, this great champion of religious freedom, alarmed by the denial of protection to the Lautenberger-Specter refugees, remarked, "These refugees face the imminent danger on return to Iran, where the already dire situation for religious minorities is steadily deteriorating." If the USCIRF and other news vendors in the United States are so concerned with the future of persecuted religious minorities in Iran, why do they exhibit such disdain for the Modi government's efforts to secure the imperiled future of persecuted religious minorities in Pakistan? Are Hindu, Sikh, Christian, Parsi, Jain and Buddhist lives inferior to those of Christian, Zoroastrian and Baha'i? Surely not. So what other possible reason could there be for such blatant hypocrisy? Are the members of the USCIRF and the news vendors in the United States upset that Narendra Modi has risen to be the Prime Minister despite their long-standing attempts to paint him a Hindu bigot throughout the 2000s? The eagerness with which the so-called liberal intelligentsia in India has championed the Western line on the CAA without so much as even a fact check raises some serious questions about its motives. Today, not only have these champions of secularism succeeded in whipping up unparalleled fear in Muslim minds, but they're also providing cover fire to the opposition to play a divisive and corrosive political hand. And before we wrap up, viewers, in an act that has set off alarm bells across the globe, the United States carried out a drone strike on a top Iranian general. The Americans say the General Soleimani of the elite Revolutionary Guard of Iran was abetting acts of terror against the United States and its military. Donald Trump, US President, has come out and said that Soleimani has killed or badly wounded thousands of Americans. Soleimani was plotting to kill many more, but got caught out. This is what Donald Trump has said in his justification for this act. He says he was directly and indirectly responsible for death of millions. Mike Pompeo, US Secretary of State, has said the decision to remove Soleimani saved American lives. So they are, in fact, justifying this in self-defense. The risk of doing nothing was enormous. Now, viewers, though the United States has justified the military assassination at this moment in time, the Indian government, along with other world powers, is cautiously assessing the situation. MEA's first response is that we've noted that a senior Iranian leader has been killed by the United States. Peace and security in this region is of utmost importance to India. It's vital that situation doesn't escalate. India has consistently advocated restraint and continues to do so. There are many, of course, amongst military circles in this country who are lauding the step taken by the United States government. Some even believe that the zero-tolerance approach will put other states who sponsor terror on notice. Remember, viewers, in February last year, India had also undertaken airstrikes to neutralize terror camps in Balakot, Pakistan, in self-defense. Well, I leave it at that. It's a big debate that is raging on America's actions. Are they justified or not? Is zero tolerance to terror the way forward, or is it provocative? The news hour with Navika Kumar coming up. Stay with us.